What hole is that? It's a different angle. I know that.
Okay. Is there a name for the trophy? No trophy shot, dead. Okay. And it's a tournament format, not the championship format. Okay. Okay. NBC Sports proudly presents first round action of the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship presented by ADT, Chase, and by Kohler. For the second time since 2021, TPC Sawgrass gets to host the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship. Usually we see grandstands all over this course, but guess what? When you see a couple of holes, you know exactly where you are, regardless of grandstands or not. This is the stadium course at TPC Sawgrass, our Titleist tournament format. There is a lot going on this week here in Ponte Vedra, Florida. You have the 54-hole Stroke Play Championship on the Player Stadium course and the Dyes Valley course. 5 divisions will name champions. Men's Division 1, Men's Division 2, the Women's Division, and then the individual for both men's and women's. That's what you have going on today. We'll follow all of this today, tomorrow, and Wednesday and crown some champions on Wednesday. A look at the leaderboard at the moment. Right now, Florida A&M with a big lead by 9 shots over both Alabama State and Prairie View A&M. That's the Division 1. Over at Dyes Valley, Lincoln University, they lead right now by 2 over Chaminade. That is at Dyes Valley. Now also at Dyes Valley, the women's team competition. Western New Mexico, a leader by 3 at the moment over Texas A&M Corpus Christi. On the stadium course, Yuki Liu and Justin Sun are tied at 1 under for the individual lead. And for the women, we have a 2-way tie right now at -2. That is what is going on all around the property here. Justin Kutcher alongside 2005 individual champion Doug Smith. Steve Burkowski has you covered on the holes, and Craig Perks is on the course. And it is a beautiful day right now here in Ponte Vedra, Florida, at the stadium course. We've got live action at the 13th as we say hello to Steve Burkowski.
Good afternoon, Justin. Tee shot on the way here at the par 3 for Patrick Jean-Pierre, the grad student for Florida A&M. And what a shot there. Craig Perks, the 2002 Players Champ, watching that group. We'll be tapping in his experience around this property over the course of the next 3 days.
Over at 16, this is Bishop Stringer. His putt. This 16th hole, a par 5. A par 5 that Craig Perks knows very well. 16, 17, 18, the 2002 Players Champion did something, guys, that I don't know will ever be repeated. Took 1 putt in his final 3 holes to win that championship. And here is Stringer out of Alabama State University, knocking it in.
Yeah, not a lot of stress right there for Stringers. We take an overhead look. I'll tell you, Justin, this golf course looks completely different than we're used to seeing it for the Players Championship. No stands. You can see that they've reseeded the grass on the backside of 16 green. different look, but still the stadium course in Sawgrass.
And that walk from the green at 16 to the tee box at 17. VJ Powell getting ready to go.
Oh, how about these shots we've seen early on already? 17 only playing 146 today, Burko, and I'll tell you, they're taking that aim already.
Fearless. Wonderfully done there by VJ. Drop back to the green at 16.
Miles Taylor has a putt for birdie at the 16th. Miles Taylor at a Florida A&M, which, Doug, I know that's a soft spot in your heart.
Yeah, it really is. It's a great place down there, and to see what the coach Mike Rice has done with this team is that one just slides by on the low side. It's fantastic to see. But I got to tell you, I'm a little jealous that this is what this championship has grown to be. And look, I'm not taking anything away from PGA Golf Village down in Port St. Lucie, but it wasn't Sawgrass.
Head over to 13, second from just off the green at the par 3.
Yeah, Burko, that's actually the spot to miss it over there. That's one of the difficult hole locations on this treacherous green.
Still going though, Craig.
Yeah, Steve, these green complexes are obviously very difficult. The green speeds, I talked to someone on the staff earlier in the week, and they're up around 11, Doug, and get on the wrong side of some of these mounding, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get repelled from these flagsticks.
And I tell you, this course, Greg, the greens are so perfect right now. They may be a touch slower than we see for the Players Championship, and they're kind of back in that mode for regular play, but this place is still fiery. The greens are rolling absolutely true, almost as true as the man sitting right across from me, Steve Bukowski.
Too kind, my friend. Keep it right here at 13. Craig, looks like Pablo Rivera from Chicago State next to go, the junior from Spain.
Yeah, and I've watched him for the last 5 or 6 holes. Obviously, he's the best player on that team, 8 top 10s, and leads the team with scoring average. Very aggressive play off the tee, and I like that. I think that if you look at what Scotty Scheffler's done here the last 2 years in the Players, very aggressive off the tee, then you can be a little bit more conservative. And with the wind whipping around, this, yeah, actually, I believe Gonzalo may go with that third of his, Steve.
Yeah, Gonzalo Moreno from Alabama State, representing the Hornets, a grad student from Spain, finished tied for 15th in this championship a year ago. And Craig, we'll document it over the next 3 days, but your strategy getting around this golf course in 02 and then 03 when you had a chance to go back-to-back, what did you lean on?
Well, for me, my short game was impeccable, and you know, I struggled with driving the golf ball. I don't necessarily think you have to be a really accurate driver. You have to control the emotions, you know, physically, mentally, all that stuff, but you have to be very proficient around the greens. And I think as you watch Gonzalo there, it's tough. You come up those ridges, and once you get on top, it runs away from you. Tough to judge putts like that.
And when you look at those two, Craig, you have that putt back up the ridge. It's also against the grain, so you really have to take in all facets of that putt to try to get it near the hole. Maybe playing just maybe a foot slower than you actually read on that.
Now, this is Isaac Bertagnole from North Carolina Central, the freshman out of Pinehurst, North Carolina. You could see the reaction, Craig. He's like, oh, that one got away from me just a bit. Let's go up to 14. That's the second for Patrick Mwendapole from Florida A&M.
Mwendapole right now is tied for the lead at even.
Now back to 13. Pablo Rivera finally up.
Yeah, it's a good place to putt from. Up the hill, should break left.
I'll tell you what, he read that perfectly, Craig. And you talk about these greens and reading. There's so many subtleties, Greg, here on the course. How did you kind of navigate the years that you won and even contended the year after? How did you navigate some of these subtleties in the greens? It's hard to see these little nuances.
Yeah, don't forget, I won in March, excuse me. In the 12 years they played in May. Right now, the overseed is burning off. So they were a little bit easier to read, in my opinion, in March, because there was a little bit more grain. You could see grain discoloration. So that was a little bit easier. Now with these kids coming on here really for the first time in competition, as we watch Isaac try and two-putt for his putt. There are some subtleties around here, and we watched during the Players' Championship, guys were confused on these greens at the highest. So, well, that's a great two-putt there.
Paid it off a little fist pump. You think that matters? Get down in 2.
So Isaac remains 2 over in this opening round. Now Gonzalo Moreno, work to do here for his 4.
Yeah, and everything does fall to his right, but sometimes there's those subtleties that Doug mentioned. It's one I don't think you want to give the hole away.
All right, got it done.
You don't want a lot of those all day, Perks. A lot of those grinding par saves. Already out.
Final member of this group, Patrick John Pierre, grad student from Augusta, Georgia, representing the Florida A&M Rattlers, coming off a tie for 3rd at the SWAC Championship. Heck of a tee shot to this point.
Now, this is a treacherous par 3 with the wind swirling, and to knock it in this close was really impressive. He's hit the ball very well, the holes that I've watched him play, and wonderful too there.
You know it's a good tee shot when he's the last one to putt, and the other 2 had to try to scramble to make their pars. He makes a birdie. Florida A&M leading the team competition in the men's Division I by 9 at the moment. Today's coverage of the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship is brought to you by Chase Sapphire. Upgrade your travel and dining experiences with Chase Sapphire. By Kohler, helping people live gracious, healthy, and sustainable lives. And by ADT. When every second counts, count on ADT.
Welcome to the 2024 PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship. This year, TPC Sawgrass plays host to the most culturally significant championship in Welcome to the 2024 PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship. This year, TPC Sawgrass plays host to the most culturally significant championship in collegiate golf. Since 1986, students from historically black colleges, Hispanic-Serving Institutions, and other minority-serving institutions have competed in the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship. We extend a special thank you to our presenting sponsors, Chase, ADT, and Kohler for their support of these student athletes competing this week. On behalf of the PGA of America and our more than 30,000 PGA of America golf professionals, we hope you enjoy the 2024 PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship.
We appreciate PGA President John Lindert, PGA of America President John Lindert. Today we are focused on the stadium course, and this is what the yardage book looks like. This course opened in 1980, designed by the Hall of Famer Pete Dye, and there are water penalty areas all around, Doug. This course may be Pete Dye's masterpiece.
I tell you what, Jeff Plotz has got this place in a great shape, and we're going into that part of the season, the part of the year where the grass is changing, that Champions fine rye is starting to die out. The greens are absolutely perfect, but as we're starting to get back into that Bermuda time, there's going to be some areas that we're not going to be used to seeing here at the stadium course at Sawgrass, but still providing the same challenge that we see year over year at the Players Championship, and what a treat it's been for all the players in the field.
And what a treat it is as we go to 17 for these players, Burko, to play this hole.
As you said right off the top, Justin, it's memorable. You don't have to get dropped off from the moon to realize where are we this week? This is the Island Green at 17, and we saw moments ago VJ Powell with a wonderful shot in there. What a story this would be for him to tell all his buddies back home. Yeah, no problem. 4 feet underneath the hole.
By the way, no big deal. Just your coach is actually taking a video camera. That's how memorable it is.
Well, he won't forget that birdie. I don't think it's hard to do, right? But the coach, how about the coach? Worried about the content, making sure his man has what he needs to remember this for a lifetime.
Yeah, the story needed video proof in case people aren't tuning in when he tells everyone back home. You won't believe what I did 10 minutes into the broadcast on Golf Channel. So with the green now open, we will make our way back to the tee at 17. Great look from high above.
This is just one hole, Burko, that you don't need to know. You already know what it is. You see the water, you see the tree bending around the bulkhead. You know you're at 17.
Yeah, you've got that wind down on 17 and 18. So if you want to flirt with that back hole location, Doug, it really depends on how frisky you want to get.
I'll tell you what, we had a chance to shoot some content earlier this week, and frisky was not the soup du jour, if you will, because I played it right to the top of the ridge, spun it back down, and safely on the green. So that's really what you want to take away here, Burko.
Absolutely. Let's see what Bishop Stringer can do, the senior for Alabama State, finished tied for 15th in this championship a year ago.
Got that helping breeze. You don't really need to muscle something, just a pitching wedge.
No. He's not the first nor the last.
Regardless of the distance, Burko, it's still a nervy shot, regardless of the fans being here or the Players Championship. It's such a tough shot with the wind. You can feel it. You can't tell how much help you have, and really hard to get the number right.
And this is Miles Taylor, redshirt senior for Florida A&M. We'll follow with our Top Tracer technology, brought to you by Chase Sapphire.
He's taking the low route. Just can skip up and stay on.
And it's one of those, I think, Doug, you want to find the number to the center of the green, and that's the number you need to play.
There's that little plateau just on top of the ridge. From the front edge, it plays about 16 up. And then you get this really level, space. Then it plays uphill just a bit.
Let's drop back to 14.
This is Wendapole, a birdie here. This would be for the lead as the medalist, and he knew right away that was not going in, but that's a stress-free par at the 14th.
Let's go back to 17. Logan Daly, Chicago State Cougar, junior out of St. Louis. Hang in there now.
He got a lot of juice on that, Burko. You think it might get a little skip playing downwind, but receptive greens here, especially right there on top of that bunker. They put a lot of water on that, make sure we don't lose that area, and I fell victim right there.
Now, the fourth member of this group, Trey Morse from North Carolina Central, the senior from New Orleans, playing in his 7th event this season.
See if he likes to go upstairs right there at 97 feet. Super flat shot, needs to get down in a hurry. Stay in there.
We've also seen shots like that through the years at the Players Championship. Trey saying, come on now, why didn't that stay on that walkway for me? Just getting underway on a Monday from Ponte Vedra Beach.
Live at the 14th, second shot for Patrick Jean-Pierre.
Yeah, massive tee shot, just 128, and the wind's really swirling around here, Doug. It was in from the left off the tee, and now more right to left at the green.
Could have tried to use that little ridge just outright, feed that down to the hole location, but not up close and personal. But you talk about a young man, Perks, that just exudes confidence and just kind of who you want, to be friends with. I've enjoyed knowing Patrick, especially as a former Rattler. Keeping in contact with those guys has been fantastic.
Well, we welcome you back to the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship, presented by Chase Sapphire on a beautiful Monday. This is a look at the 17th, and you see there's a player there at the drop zone, which is 87 yards today. Let's make our way from high above 17 over to 13.
Yeah, another par 3 here. This is Simon Burgos from the University of Lynchburg, sophomore from Raleigh, North Carolina, coming off a runner-up in their conference championship. So some good form heading into this one.
Yeah, but he got fooled right there by that wind. Burko just playing left to right, right across the face. There's a touch of hurt back here on this tee box. You got to negotiate.
Back to the 14th, and this is Pablo Rivero.
Yeah, had a horrific lie from the rough and could only advance to the bunker, and it's just such an awkward lie over there, an awkward distance.
Rivero out of Chicago State University by way of Spain.
Talking to their coach earlier in the week, he said this is the player that you got to keep your eye on, and like Perks has said, he's seen a lot of good motion out of him. Caught some bad luck here, but Definitely a player to keep our eye on as our coverage continues.
Gonzalo Moreno, who you know exactly who it is based on the shorts that he's wearing.
I'll move for you just a sec.
You know what? I feel like you're setting me up to make a fashion statement right now, and I'm just going to let that one breathe.
I'm going to let you know that, Doug, you can't pull those shorts off. You're not strong enough.
I just know for this young man, it's quad season every day.
Yeah, you'd never miss leg day for Gonzalo Moreno out of Sevilla, Spain, playing for Alabama State University.
Just in the legs and the glutes are the king of the golf swing. So he's certainly in the right spot there, and you're welcome to show him off. Got some green to use. The lies sticky. Trying to land it in the right spot.
Pitching straight down the hill, Craig.
Yeah, and you can see it release down that hill, and you can see the color in the grain there. Straight down green, tough to stop. A good shot.
I love seeing these guys pick up their own bags, go to the next shot. As we go to 15.
Second coming out of this fairway bunker for Ignacio Puente, Alabama State, senior from Spain.
Looks like he's trying to work this cut to this back right hole location. I just tugged it and stayed on that line, but a little deep. Excuse me, front right hole location.
Let's go to the green at 17. Logan Daly, long birdie putt.
Those out rolling balls. This putt kind of works its way right to left, and then the hole kind of works the opposite direction. And that's well sped, though.
Yeah, you'll take a 2-putt from down there all day long. So he'll throw a mark, taking nothing for granted. Now we go back over to 15. Patrick Wendapole, the grad student from Zambia, leading the way from a medalist standpoint from those playing as part of a team. We'll show some individuals that are playing just individually, one of those 5 titles up for grabs. A lot to digest, but we'll break it all down. And this is not position A, Doug.
No, this is position Z. This is the last place you want to be, but you know, we were on the range earlier this week, Pat and I, just talking about some ball position things, and he had noticed that his ball position had crept up on him, so he wasn't making optimal contact. That's not the worst place to be if it stays right there. Ball just above his feet, be able to pitch it back down, but we were able to get the ball and the contact back like he expects, Steve, and it was starting to look really good for him late in the practice round yesterday.
Does he know those are called push carts, not pull carts?
Green at 17, Miles Taylor.
He's got his own swag, man. Leave him alone, Justin.
Yeah, pretty good pace there by Miles. His twin brother Marcus in the Rattlers lineup this week as well. How cool, Doug, that must be to have your brother alongside for perhaps their last tournament together.
Here is Patrick Jean-Pierre, who went long.
Yeah, and Coach Rice told us this morning his short game is immaculate. Going to need it here, pitching, landing on the downslope and releasing out. That is phenomenal right there.
Did you see that walk, Craig?
Trying to walk that in.
He was almost going Craig Perks circa 2002.
He was trying to channel his inner Perks. That was right on the call right there, Craig. His short game, perfect over the screen.
Yeah, I want to double down on that. Spending time with Mike Rice, the head coach from Florida A&M. That's exactly what he told Craig and myself. The driving's coming around, but short game as good as anyone. Craig, that he's the ultimate grinder to find a way to get it in the hole, and that's exactly what we saw there at 14. How about that view? High above, 14 to 15. Just get over those trees. What's on that other side of the? Oh, there it is, the island green.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, the 17th, yes.
So we have to tell our audience that that is the green, just to double check, because there's no grandstands around. You can see where they've replanted all the grass and put the sod down. I'll tell you what, the challenge is still the same.
It was Pete Dye's wife, Alice, who came up with the idea of saying, let's do the island green.
Yeah, he couldn't quite figure out, what am I doing? I keep digging and digging. She's like, well, just put water around it. Taylor Bell, freshman for Florida A&M, getting ready to go from Tallahassee. So he stays home and had a 6th place finish earlier in November at the HBCU Bridgestone Invitational.
FAMU Bridgestone School, definitely appreciate all the help they've given my Rattlers. It's got to get down in a hurry, though.
Oh, it did.
Wow.
Bold play by the first-year player for Florida A&M.
So you expect that out of freshmen, Burko?
They don't know any better.
Try to flag it on backhole location.
And that's all right. All right, get the mind out of the game. Go hit golf shots. And this should be Kendall Wallace from North Carolina Central, grad student for the Eagles. Calls Blythewood, South Carolina home, just outside the capital city of Columbia. You're driving from Columbia to Charlotte, work your way up 77, you go through Blythewood, and that one...
Well, that hit the wood.
Yeah, not the kind of wood for the man from Blythewood. Wenda Pole over the green to 15, his 3rd.
He's got plenty of green from back here straight down. It'll start to work its way back up around this whole location. And no, he also has a very good short game, taking the low route.
All right, so Patrick's going to have that for his par to remain even on the day. Four seniors in the Florida A&M lineup, but just a couple with experience, as Mike Rice shared, that I've got some guys that have spent the time, but maybe they don't have that championship experience. Quade Woods, the lefty from Alabama State, tee shot on the way.
Oh, yeah, this is super low and seemed chunked. And that, well, it was. It's such a hard shot, Burko, to really commit to. You got to have your wits about you when you're on that tee.
So day one continues from the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship. A look at the leaderboard here, presented by Chase Sapphire. The Rattlers continuing the lead. They've got a 9-shot lead over Alabama State.
Out to the 15th on the stadium course.
Wendell Pole trying to save his par at 15 as they took down Ralph Sampson, the Virginia Cavaliers, some 40 years ago.
Big putt here.
Nice save. Great save, in fact.
Yeah, that's one of those putts you make and you exhale. And he's got a great round going, stepping into the par 5, 16th, Burko. And he's got the gauntlet coming up.
Got a chance maybe to get one at the par 5, 16th. We headed to the green at 17. And Zachary Phelps, Chicago State, a junior from New Lenox, Illinois, tied for 15th in this championship a year ago. Long look at birdie.
Yeah, up the hill. We'll work toward the back right corner of the walk path.
Bold effort.
By the way, Doug, how cool is it for these guys to be playing here?
Well, you really just want to make me angry.
Was I just twisting that?
You're twisting it. That's all it is. You're turning the doorknob on me, man. I mean, look, when you talk about championship golf, it's no secret that the HBCUs and the different minority-serving institutions, we don't get to play the best courses. It's not something that we've done. It's been tough. Getting the right places, even playing around your school schedule. Then you get to come to one of the most coveted courses in the United States, even the world. It means a lot, and you're going to make memories. And of course, you want to hoist a trophy, but it's also the memories and the intersection with the PGA and meeting, the Seth Waz and the David Kohlers, who's on property. Where else can you get that in college golf?
2-putt par for Taylor Bell from Florida A&M, and we see the change, as you touched on, Justin. Second time in 3 years here. Shoal Creek, that is, a year ago in 2023. The venues are
Whistling Straits next year.
Ramping up. Bogey putt there by Kendall Wallace. Pretty good for it, considering the tee shot.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, anytime you can splash one down and get out with a 4 at 17, you can go ahead and give it a tip of the cap.
I mean, Kendall, that's a highlight to be here, but I'm still thinking the standard is 2018, the Pure Insurance Championship, where he finished 4th at Pebble Beach playing alongside Hale Irwin. How about that? Pretty good experiences for these student athletes.
So he's saying pressure? What pressure?
Played with the 3-time U.S. Open champ. This is nothing. I got it.
Yeah, I do love that event, getting to walk alongside some folks on the Champions Tour and greats of the game. Even offer some mentorship opportunities.
All right, gets that one to go. So minimize the damage when you have some trouble off the tee for Zach Phelps.
Yeah, his cards included a little bit of everything today. Just getting this championship started, closing out this opening round. I'm still feeling that comment, Justin. I'm just saying, like.
Well, okay, I'll let you move on.
Don't get me wrong. PGA Village is still a fantastic venue.
Let's have a bigger appreciation in this 37th year of this championship. The growth, the expansion, and the opportunity for these men and women. Let's go back to 15 with Patrick John Pierre. A little bit wayward with his tee shot, but seems to be a clear look for a second.
Actually, Burko, Isaac's going to go ahead. He's only 93 yards, where Patrick's 163 yards. So I certainly applaud the quickness of play, but he's certainly playing out of turn.
Yeah, it's college golf 101. Yep. When you're ready to roll, go for it and keep the pace of play up. So not an issue there. And we touched on it with Patrick John Pierre and his head coach Mike Rice right there, how he is as a player. But you and I watched a moment between these two that gave us goosebumps. Share it with those tuning in today.
Yeah, it was powerful. Coach Rice was talking about Patrick coming in on campus as really just a young boy and maturing into a grown man. We've talked about him being a grad student, a 4.0 student, and Patrick gave him a hug just before he was about to tee off, and Coach Rice literally broke down. He started shaking and quivering, and it was a very powerful moment. It certainly put me in the right frame of mind to cover a college event for the first time here, Burke. It was extremely powerful.
Yeah, great appreciation for that relationship between a player and coach.
Yeah, this from 163 out of the pine straw. So tough to figure it all out, and on a nice line, turning back towards the flag.
Yeah,
Did a lot of very good
shot?
shots. Yeah.
Excellent shot there by Patrick Jean-Pierre. He's got to look at birdie.
Tell you what, Craig, that wind looks like it's starting to pick up here as we approach 20 till on the East Coast.
Let's go back to the tee at 17. Devin Kusi, Chicago State, on the tee. Junior out of Canada. Brought that back maybe the full 2 club lengths, so maybe didn't love the number. And you know what, Doug? Those 2 club lengths probably kept that ball on dry land.
Absolutely, Burko. I tell you, you don't take those 2 club lengths, and that has found Davy Jones's locker, but just past the hole, and he's going to have a really good look for birdie. But I'm just shocked to see how many players are taking on this hole location today and flirting with that back edge.
I love it. Go for it. Opportunity you don't get to see very often. Now Kyle Gregory from North Carolina Central.
Probably nothing more. See, I expected to see more of that shot. Honestly, downwind.
Yeah, fist pump. It's dry. I got a birdie putt. That's all you're trying to accomplish.
He's got the birdie putt for sure, but he also has to putt up that ridge.
Now Miguel Elas from Alabama State, that is. Sophomore from the Philippines. Tied for 32nd at Shoal Creek a year ago.
Take a lot of confidence away from playing this championship and then coming back regardless of the finish. Uh-oh.
All right, anxious moments. He can now exhale. Although the stance could be a little tight to the edge.
Might have to be left-handed all of a sudden.
He could be getting a calf workout.
Let's go back over to 15 with one of our marquee groups. Pablo Rivera, shot on the way.
Yeah, it's from 133.
Oh, look at this. Hit it about 134 and change.
Tell you what, loved his move through the ball right there. A lot of chest rotation, held off the face with the right shoulder clearing through the hit zone. Oh, keep an eye on that as this continues. I like that move.
Well, this view will never get old. 16 on the far right, 17 the island green, and the memories from 2002, the Players Championship. Our own Craig Perks, what he did on this finishing stretch. The 4-iron stays dry. This was just the beginning. Chip in for eagle. And then you start to think, is it possible? 28-footer for birdie on 17. Oh my goodness, it's looking likely now. You head to 18, a 2-shot lead. Trouble off the tee, back in play, third just off the back edge, and you finish in style. 3, 2, 4. 1 putt over those final 3 holes.
Craig Perks, what was it that Johnny Miller said about you on the tee at 18?
He actually said a lot of things, but when I pulled driver off 18, he said he's obviously left his brain in the bayou. And listen, there was some symmetry there. That was on March the 24th, and to finish 3-2-4 was obviously extremely special, but I never got that far in my dreams. I never thought I would win an event of that magnitude, but it was pretty special.
Well, Craig, I can tell you one thing. Those pants are back in style, so you can go ahead and pull those out of the closet.
Yeah, me and Jason Day, right?
Perhaps the best thing you've shared with me through the years is what you did Monday when you were back home and the phone was ringing off the hook. There was still some maintenance that needed to be done back at the house, correct?
Yeah, I didn't have an agent at the time, and I loved to mow the lawn, so we got in about 3 o'clock in the morning. My daughter came in about 5:30 in the morning and said, "Where's the trophy that Tiger Woods gave you?" And by 7:30 I was mowing the lawn. So yeah, the yard needed some attending.
I love it. Keeps you humble. That's Jamal Hutchison out of North Carolina Central University, just having a layup, an awkward stance. And Doug, it's frustrating when you get to these closing holes. The 16th hole, that's the scoring hole.
Yeah. You kind of circle the 16th hole, especially where we're playing it today. Take over 500 yards. You kind of draw one down the left edge. You know, back in Perks' day, you could take it over those trees. They've added a little length since then, but now we've got Windapole, and he's got all systems go right here at the 16th, and rightfully so. He's got to be careful with this hole location. Cut only 5 paces off the front. You can kind of play off of that number. You have to play off of it probably another 6 to 8 paces. It's very firm down in front of the screen. I was out earlier today. Oh, he's trying to hit a cut. And double cross.
Oh, and he just caught a break. That hit a tree limb, came down.
You can see that drain there, so very soft. All the water kind of running off. He's going to have to pitch up and over the cart path, but might be good.
Well, let's go back to the green at 15. Birdie look here for John Pierre.
Yeah, and the difficulty here, Burko, is that you're actually putting down green but uphill at the last part of this putt and back into the wind. So really difficult to judge the pace.
Pretty well done there by Patrick. So that short one remaining for his par to stay at 3 over.
I always found it difficult to play in glasses, especially with the humidity where it is today, Perks. It feels like they might start sliding on Patrick there after a while.
I've been really impressed. He's figured the driver out, as Burko said. He's been really aggressive off the tee in spots, and the iron game has been sensational. Yeah, it's not as humid as you would imagine because we've got enough breeze blowing. I think the temperatures are going to rise the next couple of days, but that can certainly be problematic in May.
Now Moreno, his look at birdie.
Yeah, different angle here, sort of sliding across. This is a depression in this part of the green here, so it's going to be riding pretty hard from right to left, certainly around the hole. Struggled with pace on the greens.
I think he figured it out.
Yeah, he sure did.
Here you go, Gonzalo. He's 3 there at the 15th.
Clean up the 15, get the bird, get the 16. Don't spill anything on 17. Okay, you can kind of get back. Maybe you can get in the house at 5 or 4.
You look at that scorecard and you see how difficult this course is. Burko, the pros make it look easy. It's not an easy course.
Yeah, far from it, and Craig can attest to it even as a Players Champ as we watch Bertagnole.
Yeah, should be moving to his right around the hole. Oh, there's the subtleties. Maybe the green pulled it the opposite direction. Yeah, I've come back here many times to play. You know, 5 or 10 years later, this golf course is brutally tough, and it shows teeth when you don't expect it. It's a masterful job by Pete Dye. I promise you that. All the visual spice and a lot of strategy involved to play well around this golf course.
And Craig, for a lot of the young men and women this week, likely the first time they've ever played the stadium course, how did you go about trying to learn some of those nuances and sight lines off the tee in just maybe 1 or 2 practice rounds?
Yeah, it's a crash course, isn't it? I think obviously all of these young men and women probably have watched the players just do what Scotty Scheffler does. Be pretty aggressive off the tee and then play conservatively in the greens. Velvet hammer you need around here, Burko. Velvet hammer.
Yes, indeed. Isaac in 2-putt par as we go to 16.
At the 16th, this is Marcus Taylor.
Trying to work a little draw in right to left, and now Hutchinson's going to have to pitch back.
That was Jamal Hutchison, I beg your pardon.
Over the hill. This is one of my favorite holes in all of golf, the 16th at Sawgrass. It's such a well-designed hole, gives you a chance, but if you don't keep it in play off the tee, it can take your lunch.
All right, let's go to the green at 17. Marcus Taylor's got this for birdie. We saw his brother Miles a couple of groups earlier.
I'll give you this, Burko. How about his mom and the mom of Kyrie Moodley? They do yoga together back in South Africa in Johannesburg. They live about 5 miles from each other.
That's a man who's done his research heading into round 1.
Right place, right time.
2-putt par for Marcus, who was a co-medalist earlier this spring, winning ultimately in a playoff. So he's got that experience to lean on, getting the job done. Pressure moment.
He's a player I expect a lot from. Being a fast player at FAMU.
Well, speaking of the Rattlers, in good shape so far on day one. They've got a 10-shot lead. More action from the stadium course coming your way next.
Hey, Burko. Steve Burkowski.
Yep.
Are you allowed to play out a turn and just play whatever you want?
College golf. They just go. Yep.
This kid Isaac just goes. He just gets up on the tee and.
Yeah. Usually it's from a green to a tee. Seldom would you see somebody 70 yards ahead.
Yeah.
That one caught even me off guard.
Yep. Caught me off guard for sure.
At least we caught it though. That was cool. Caught it with the wide.
Yeah, he had 108 and Patrick had 165 or something. So yeah, he just said, "I'm going to go."
Yeah, Patrick was back there gardening. I didn't say anything, but I felt like you can't really do that. Tough shot.
Wendell Pole, his third at the 16th, got a break, hit a tree limb, and that is a really nice recovery shot right there, looking at a birdie putt.
Especially coming down the hill from that angle. There's a ridge, probably another 2 paces past it. Taking it all the way down.
You are watching the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship presented by Kohler here at the stadium course. TPC Sawgrass. Justin Kutcher alongside Doug Smith, the winner back in 2005, Steve Burkowski, and the 2002 Players Champion Craig Perks here covering this great event called the most culturally significant championship in collegiate golf. 27 countries are represented here. This is Quade Woods from Alabama State University for birdie. And Doug, this 18th hole, everyone talks about 17. 18 is hard, and he makes it look easy.
Hey, showing him the Quade. See how I did that?
I did. I saw how you did that, yeah.
Just got to slick it in there. Hey, he's opening round 79. It is what it is. It's a tough day. Wind's starting to pick up. Got to be happy about it.
And you close on a birdie, and that gives you some momentum, hopefully some positive momentum going into tomorrow.
And you have to take it because this course can beat you up. And don't forget, we're contesting this championship over 2 golf courses. So they're going to flip, go over to Dyes Valley tomorrow, where I tell you what, it's equally as difficult.
Taylor Bell in that same group. He has this putt for birdie.
Had a great look, knows what it does, has to hit it.
Who can forget what happened at this year's Players Championship when Scotty Scheffler went back-to-back, but it was nearly a playoff. Wyndham Clark, it was in and around and then out here at 18. So at the Players Stadium course today, you mentioned the Valley course. At the Stadium course, the men's Division I team competition, Florida A&M has a comfortable lead, a 9-stroke lead over Alabama State. That's what's going on for the team competition. The individual competition, now there's been some changes. Justin Sun is now in the lead. Justin Suh is on the PGA Tour. But 1 under is Justin Sun out of Purdue in the women's individual. Right now, still a 2-way tie at 1 under. So some good golf being played on that individual. You highlight Moodley. Why is that?
Well, no, we just mentioned her already. The twins from FAMU, both from Johannesburg, South Africa.
That was at 16. A miss for birdie.
We're starting to see more and more players like to putt with this style of putter, this very high MOI putter there from Lab.
So if you can just elaborate on what MOI means.
Well, the short way to put it is anytime a non-moving object is going to get struck with another object, there's going to be this twisting of the face. And MOI is just how stable or the resistance to twisting, the overall moment of inertia. And that's what we're seeing. And then you see Puente here with just your traditional blade style putter. Go ahead and roll.
Out of Alabama State University. Did he get enough? Oh,
that would have been on cue, wouldn't it?
He is one of many players in the field out of Sevilla, Spain. Americans refer to it as Seville. People in Spain call it Sevilla. It's a beautiful place.
What are you going to call it?
Well, since I've been there and a buddy lives there, I'm going to to say Sevilla.
Okay. You used both. You gave yourself an out right there. So
yeah,
I
did.
Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Now, how about this for birdie right now for Patrick Wendopole to get to 1 under heading to 17.
Hey, off the tee, hit just an absolute beauty. Pulled, even double crossed now. Firm pressure. You see that huge gust come up. That's a great step off right there. Hey, that's something I don't think a lot of the younger players do enough of. Once something kind of throws you out of your pre-shot routine, go ahead, step off. It's like hitting the reset button.
He's going old school.
Yeah, presses it almost to arm lock. Good stroke, just a misread. Still a par, though, especially where he was in 2. It's all right.
Still even. The only player, as far as a medalist in the team competition, the men's Division I, to be at even par. He leads by 2 in the medalist category of the men's Division I team competition.
Yeah. Yeah, right up in there. I'm coming that way. Back to the tee, par 3 17. Patrick Wendapole from Florida A&M set to go. Even par through the first 16 holes. Doug, I think he'd take a 3-4 finish and be completely content with shooting the number on day number 1. We'll follow with our Top Tracer technology presented by Chase Sapphire.
Yeah, playing straight down fan. We've seen some players go ahead and take on this flag, end up right on that back edge, but I know Patrick's game. We've seen it a couple times already, Burko. Lastly at the Southwest Invitational there in Dallas, and see if this will catch that bunker. Oh no, he hit it over it.
Pretty good shot for a Sunday hole location of the Players Championship, but just as important, it's dry. PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship is brought to you by the PGA of America, and there are more than 30,000 PGA of America golf professionals who love this game. They really do a tremendous job, Doug and Justin, with this championship. The growth, the evolution, the development of it all. It feels special when you get on property here this week as we watch Puente at 17.
Yeah, it went from like 28,000 a couple years ago to now over 30,000, and they're the stewards of the game. They're the ones designed to grow the game. As Puente throws one right on top, and got a bit unfortunate to zip that thing off the top shelf.
Burko, as you mentioned, the feel, it feels big, feels like a major championship. They have the players lounge where the players can congregate and they can play pop-a-shot, ping pong, foosball. I mean, and the players are all in there having a blast.
It's a different event. It's designed to create kind of these centers of communication so that the players can grow their networks as well as meet and interact with other PGA professionals.
Tee shot of Colavecchia. Similar result, but it hangs in there. But as it should be, Doug, and you've played in it. I mean, this is their headliner.
It's one of those things, and I think back to college golf, and especially my time at Florida A&M, and it's a thought where you never know who your friends are going to grow up to be. We're talking about the PGA of America. I blinked, and Brooks Koepka's got 3, and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. No wonder you're not answering my calls anymore, Brooks.
Last member of this group, Jamal Hutchison, North Carolina Central Eagle. Fletcher, North Carolina, where he comes from, the freshman.
Yeah, he has to hit a draw with that move, but that needed to get up and didn't. I like the depth in this swing, but there's no speed down there at the bottom.
All right, let's go back to the 16th. Patrick Jean-Pierre has been playing this hole, Craig Perks, in an interesting manner.
Yes. Yeah, the first poor drive of the day, quick hook into the trees. The only option was to go down 15. I've never seen this before in my life. He did wander up here to see what he's trying to negotiate. He's got some huge pine trees to come over. The shot's right into the wind, and he's looking to try and find the area where the guys lay out for their second. This was obviously his third. No chance at all, I believe, to get to the green. Yeah, just trying to figure out a way to avoid making anything worse than a 6 would be my opinion here.
And again, you can see him consulting his head coach, Mike Rice. As you guys were talking about, Mike Rice almost like caddying him through this round here.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah, basically being with him the whole way, and it's great. He's a grad student. He's going to graduate with a 4.0 in his masters, and I think he's just so proud of Patrick, and this effectively is probably his last collegiate event, and just want to be alongside for it.
And Craig, those trees are you can't talk about how high they are from this fairway trying to hit over right now.
Yeah, I think you would have to take a 7 or an 8 iron to get up, and then that's not going to be enough club to get to the fairway. So a tremendously difficult shot. And again, just avoid putting worse than 6 on the scorecard.
Looked like he had about an 8 iron in his hand.
And straight back into the wind too.
That'll help him lift it.
Did clip something coming through. It's fine. Really is. Gets it back into the fairway.
Did you see he had 3 clubs out of the bag, waiting to figure out which one would be the right one, and now he's carrying all 3.
I'm just staring at that lunch because I feel like I missed lunch right now. And that box right there on the cart looks tasty. I don't know what's in it, but we're gonna have to get one here in the booth.
I just like that, again, as you guys have been talking about, with his coach walking with him, this being his last collegiate tournament, the bond that players can have with their coaches, it means so much. And it's not just while they're playing, it's for years after. You stay in touch, you keep an interest. I can tell you right now, I mean, I had a coach when I was 13. It's his birthday today, Mark Duss. We still talk all the time. That's how much a coach can impact someone's life.
I'll tell you, you look at Mike Rice walking this entire round. The coach is supposed to have the cooler as well. So if anybody else needs their snacks or craft services, they're not going to get it, because he's out looping right now.
But you see that a lot in college golf. Some coaches hopscotch around, Justin, from player to player. And there have been others that said, why don't I just commit to one guy for 4.5, 5 hours and help him every step of the way.
This is Marcus Taylor at the 18th for birdie from beyond the green.
Should work right to left, but didn't hit it hard enough. And I also feel like Patrick Jean-Pierre, his round is pivotal to the overall outcome for the Rattlers today. And I think Coach Rice is making sure that he's taking the right steps to put Patrick in the correct frame of mind and hit the correct shots for the team.
I mean, he's playing in the #1 spot. This Florida A&M team right now leads by 9. And this is Patrick Jean-Pierre in the fairway. This being, Craig, his 4th shot.
That is correct. I've got about 120 from a quite severe upslope in the fairway, and this is right back into the wind. Front left hole location. But really challenging to flight anything, Doug, from this severe and upslope in the fairway. But at least the flag is away from the water, and if you're uncomfortable with the lie or the yardage, you can certainly miss left. Pretty easy to get the ball up and down from there.
Yeah, it's even not bad if you hit that little pot bunker. Maybe not if you're trying to, in his position, but if you're chasing this green in 2, hitting that little pot bunker back there, it's a fine spot. And players, again, letting it fly, Craig, playing out of turn.
Yeah, that was Pablo's 3rd from about 55 yards, and beautifully done. They need to institute this on the PGA Tour. Just play whenever you want.
Got a guard against left with this upslope. And is that tree giving him any drama at all, Craig?
No, not at all. That tree's about 50 yards from the green. He's 120, so yeah, no issue whatsoever. This is all about contact and controlling the trajectory from the severity of the lie.
He's a player that loves to work it left to right.
Did he just double cross that? Oh man, so once again, trouble at 16 for Patrick Jean-Pierre.
He's thinking to himself, what is going on? I've had a solid round going, and all of a sudden nothing's working.
Birdie putt on the way for one to Pole at 17, and oh my.
It was better than most.
It was.
What? I'm going to let you have that one. I'm going to let you have that one there, Justin.
But we'll be a 2-putt par, keep Patrick at even, and liked it for quite some time.
He is such a stoic player. Look at him. Overall shows not much emotion on the golf course. And I like that about him. I think some players need to show the emotion. Some players, they bottle it up and works to their advantage.
What were you?
Oh, I'm throwing stuff at clubs. You asked, tell the truth here.
Miguel Elas on the 18th for birdie from the fringe.
Sneaky little putt, works his way back toward the clubhouse at the end.
Oh, walking that one. You see that?
That was a great read, great execution. I was out rolling balls this morning, and I was shocked when I saw that work up the hill and away from the water's edge. But, well, Miguel can roll it.
Hey, that puts him at +3. You've got Wenda Pole, who's sitting here at even through 17. Again, it's a team event, but there is a medalist in the team event, he put himself in good position. Conversely, Patrick Jean-Pierre, the #1 player for Florida A&M, Craig, is making this 16th hole an adventure as we go up to 17.
Yeah, as we wait on Patrick there, Colavecchia for birdie for Chicago State. And some work remaining for Julian.
Yeah, it's tough read. You know, down this morning, Burko, that's really a straight putt, a very straight putt. I'm not saying there's no movement, just the overall line is really straight. Tough to get right.
Craig, what's the play here for Jean-Pierre?
Well, I remember Coach Rice said he loves the grind. He's grinding. He's got some space available that's pitched towards him, so you can pitch it into that closely mown area. Not sure who's anticipating landing in the rough, but if he'd landed a little further than that, it could have released to the hole.
So that right there, he has left for a bogey. Again, remember, Greg Perks was trying to say take something beyond 6 out of play. We'll see if Jean-Pierre can do that at 16. At the 16th, Patrick Jean-Pierre from off the green trying to save a bogey. And all of a sudden, the scoring hole on this final stretch of 3 holes becomes a nightmare hole for Patrick Jean-Pierre.
Yeah, all set up by a tee shot. Hit that quick left off the tee, and that's when all the drama started.
Beautiful shot as we welcome you back to the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship presented by ADT. This area on the golf course, when you come to play TPC Sawgrass Stadium course, you come for these 3 holes, 16, 17, 18. When you leave, that's what you remember. As we head to the finishing hole, the 18th. Not a fun tee shot. And Patrick Wendapole.
Yeah, playing aggressive, hitting the cut down the bulkhead. Quick tee grab.
Look at that.
What a swing. What a shot. And that is steely as it gets, Kutch.
I mean, maybe it's the mustache. I don't know. But he has got some swag about him, confidence. That's not an easy tee shot.
No, that fairway is only 22 yards wide at its most narrow point. And Wendell Pole said, I'm going to cut one off the bulkhead, aimed it down the chimney line.
Again, he is the only player in this Division I men's team competition at even or better. Julian Colavecchia.
Julian doing what I almost expected Wendell Pole to do, is kind of aim out down the right.
That might be a little bit too far right into that pine straw. And now that makes this next shot really like a math calculation. Do you lay up? Do you lay up to a certain number? Do you have enough to go for it?
You have to pitch it, keep it low, and run it right through into the water.
And now Jamal Hutchison, North Carolina Central University.
I like to mention, though, these players have to play 2 practice rounds on 2 courses, so they don't get a lot of work.
And did you see him right there saying, hang on, playing that draw? He carried it 272. That is a phenomenal tee shot right there by Hutchison.
I mean, this is arguably one of the hardest closing holes in golf. And 2 players here just made it look really simple.
It really does make things a lot easier when you're in the fairway. You've got maybe a wedge in hand as opposed to being in the pine straw and trying to navigate your way. But how about Florida A&M? Right now, a 12-shot lead here in the first round. We are back again. A great look here at TPC Sawgrass, the stadium course, which is playing host to the 2024 PGA WORKS Collegiate Championships for the 2nd time since 2021 as we head out to 17.
And we will watch Pablo Rivera from Chicago State getting ready to go.
146 straight downwind. It's as long as I've ever seen this hole play, and this green sounds really firm up top there. Got to be cautious.
All right, it's dry. It's the most important goal there. You saw one close to the flagstick, and this was Isaac Bertagnole while we were in break. Pretty good one here.
I saw him cheating the right side, trying to use a little left to right English here. And I'll tell you what, he dialed the distance in perfectly, Steve.
Yeah, but you could hear that firmness Craig was talking about. That first bounce off the green. Be interesting to see as this week moves on. Temperature's supposed to creep up near 90, just how firm it gets as we go to 18.
This is Julian Colavecchia in the pine straw.
These are definitely the shots you try to hit when you're in college. You don't do them later in life. Plus had a window upstairs, and
that's a really good recovery.
That is a fantastic result. I don't know if I got that one in the bag, boys.
All right, let's see how Patrick Jean-Pierre bounces back here at 17.
That sound is terrifying. You know, you listen to those balls land up top. Do you want to fly it up there and risk going over? And again, this is straight downwind. If you don't hit the short iron correctly, you'll be knocked out of the air. You got to stand up and make a good swing. This one drifting out to the right. Safely aboard, though. You can exhale now, Burko.
Yes, he can indeed. So Patrick safely aboard the green at 17. 5 over, couple holes to go. Florida A&M comfortably in front of 12-shot lead. And if you're tuning in, I think, wow, 12 shots insurmountable. Now, divide it by 4. 5 players out for each team, 4 counting scores. So it's really just in a 3-shot lead per man, if that makes sense. A birdie bogey swing and things can change quickly.
Yeah, and I was going to ask for both you guys, how much is too much to overcome as we get our first look at the women, and it is Kairi Moodley who is the leader right now at 2 under.
She's playing here at the 13th, runner-up a year ago in this championship, so she understands the pressure and everything that surrounds it. She'll have a bit of work to do, try to get up and down there at the par 3 to remain 2 under. And to answer your question from a team standpoint, I honestly, Doug, believe if you're within 10, 15 after day 1, wouldn't want to maybe see it get to 20, but 10 or less going into the final round, you clearly have a chance.
Dating outside of like 13. I think 13 for me would be the magic number. We can make that up, especially with over 2 days remaining. We can get that back quick.
Here's Ignacio Puente, his second at the 18th after a beautiful tee shot.
Absolutely striped one. Got a guard against long. Got a lot of help. This shot, yep. I mean, there's got to be plus 4, 5 in the wind right now. We'll get the update from Perks when we get back over there to 17. But there's a lot of help coming down the 18th hole.
Well, here is the man right now, the only player at even or better in this Division I field on the stadium course, Patrick Wendapole.
Just saw your playing partner go long, so now you're kind of redoing your arithmetic to make sure you're factoring in that additional help. Mind you, this whole location is cut kind of on a little shelf. You want to play 10 feet right, give you a great look.
Got to get down.
Wow, that took a huge bounce. He cannot be upset with that shot. He landed at his number. The pitch, unbelievably surprising.
You said something to me earlier today that was surprising. The greens are firm, but not fast.
But I want to let me clarify though. They're not fast in relation to the Players Championship that we're used to see. These greens are still running like 11. And that is a beautiful shot for Hutchinson coming down the stretch. It's just they're just slower than we see on TV week in, week out. Players.
Florida A&M right now, again, 5 players, 4 scores count, and they are at plus 12, a 12-shot lead over Alabama State.
We're back to our day one coverage of the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship presented by Chase Sapphire. Haven't seen any eagles at the par 5 16th, but this one's got the best view of all of us here today.
Or have you, Burko?
Well said. At least there hasn't been a 3 on the scorecard. How about that as we go to the green at 17 with Patrick John Pierre.
It's a bit of a misnomer here, Burko, is although it's straight downwind and it's gusting nearly 25 miles an hour, it's actually around the holes back into you and into the green as well. So it's one that players do struggle with speed up on top. They think it's a lot quicker than it is. I do believe as exposed as this green is, the wind will affect it again, putting straight downwind.
That hopped a couple of times early. Still had that outside chance. A nice way to sort of settle back in, Craig. A 2-putt par after the mistakes at 16 and keep things in check.
Yeah, it's an absolute. You stand up on that hole, and especially at 146 with the wind gusting around, you're pleased, extremely thrilled to get that ball on the putting surface.
Jump ahead to 18.
Up ahead at 18. This is Patrick Wendapole.
What, looking at this club selection, Justin, he's got probably like a 9-iron or so. He's going to kind of chip and run one up, and
took the flag stick out too.
Love the play here. You don't see the guys from this age hitting that shot. Well executed from Wendapole.
Not quite from Craig Perk's area over the green at 18, but not too far away either.
No, and it reminds me of the story that Craig Perks was telling us about earlier when he had a chance, and Craig would love to hear it again, when Seve Ballesteros was actually teaching you and giving you some advice on these type of shots.
Yeah, I had the good fortune of helping him in the gym one time at Troon for the Open Championship, and he repaid that as we watch Isaac. This is would be tremendous bounce back. Yeah, bounce back too. But Seve walked with me for 9 holes in a practice round and certainly gave me a lot of great wisdom. One of the most special days I've ever had as a professional.
Amazing.
If you're going to get a little short game 9-hole stretch, Seve, not a bad one to get it from. Moment ago at 13, Kyuri Moodley, her second.
Very slow pitch up the hill, Burko.
Yeah, just hit the brakes a bit quicker than she had anticipated, but a good chance to save her par.
Now this was just a moment ago. Jamal Hutchison from off the green at 18.
Trying to break 80 in this round with this putt, but never hard enough.
Those mounds, you don't really see them very often, but it almost looks like a mini mogul field.
I know you don't want to hit a shot from there if you can help that at all. Now Moodley for her par at 13.
Got the wrist lock putting method. Brushes that one in. Good save. Down in front.
Yeah, she'll remain 2 under in the individual competition that is for the ladies this week. And Doug, how much is experience someone like Kyuri to come back knowing she had a chance a year ago to feel like, I understand what a big event it is, but know how to get the job done?
I'll tell you, when I played here in 04, I came in second to Greg Banks. At the time I was playing for Alcorn State. And I remember seeing the next year he had gone on, and I had come back, and I knew it was wide open for me to try to take the individual part of this championship. So you get a lot of confidence when you see a player like Pooh Kine not playing this year when you're Kyuri Moodley. As we see Patrick Wendapole finish up with a round of even par, Justin.
That's a heck of a round for him as Hutchison here finishes up his round. But Patrick Wendapole in the team competition right now, in the team competition, there is a medalist, and he has a 2-shot lead after the first round. An even par 72. That is the situation there. In the women's individual, Kyuri Moodley, a one-shot lead as she's playing some great golf through 13 at 2 under par.
We want to welcome everyone to the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship presented by Chase, Kohler, and ADT.
I've never been a part of anything like this, and it's something that I'm just really appreciative that I'm here. It's once in a lifetime opportunity.
It's like networking, diversity, and it's just so much more than just golf.
It's fun to see like diverse like schools and like other schools we normally don't compete with.
I didn't know I was going to play college golf like 2 years ago. So to be here right now, it's a blessing and I couldn't be more grateful.
Getting to play TPC was awesome.
I'm finding a lot of enjoyment playing the game of golf, so now I just want to grow with the game.
A great event on Saturday night that Doug Smith and Will Lowry hosted, emceed. Doug, you can speak to how great it was over at Topgolf.
Yeah, it's just fantastic when you get everybody together and you get the golf kind of out of the way and you can just kind of vibe with everybody and just feel people's spirits, man. It was a great time. Topgolf hosted a great event. Had Miles College band out there with Albany State band out there, and man, there's no other way to describe it. It's just a vibe, Justin.
Yeah, well, we're looking at our leaderboards right now, presented by Kohler, and this is what's going on at the stadium course. The men's individual, we're going to start turning our attention there. All of a sudden, a three-way tie with the even, and also the women's individual. We've seen Moodley already get through 13 at 2 under. She has that one-shot lead against Dilly Sitno.
It's going to get feisty out there. There's a lot of movement we might see. Sonia Tang back there. Dunk from Oregon. That was just in Eugene like 3 days ago.
I love it there. The PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship presented by Kohler, Chase, and ADT. The drone shots here just awesome around 16, 17 in this, the 18th hole. You don't want to be in that water, I promise you that.
Give me more drone shots and golf coverage.
I think the first time I can remember the drone shots may have been the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach, and it was unreal.
Well, now we're seeing it in 75 megapixels. This is great.
All right, so Isaac Bertangole, he's a character. He does not hesitate once he gets his number, Craig Perks, to pull out the club and go.
At least he's first to play. So that's a good thing. Yeah, it's been quite uplifting to the speed with which these guys have played. Less than driver off the tee. This hole's straight downwind, and these winds are gusting about 20-25. The hole 437 today, and it's always challenging. But Isaac, I have 165 to that back hole location, and Doug, I always think a back hole location straight downwind is so difficult to get to because of the trouble lurking beyond this flag.
Let me tell you something. Back pins are the reason why I'm in the booth, because I never had the discipline to play off, play to a middle number. And
if I'm Scotty Scheffler, I'm telling Isaac, land it about 10 to 12 paces short. That's your number you're focusing on.
Coming off a birdie, Gonzalo Moreno ahead of him's like, yeah, no big deal. I'll stand right in front of him.
He tried to listen to you, Perks.
Yeah, there's that huge bounce straight downwind.
All right, now you got to coach him on this next shot.
He was talking to Perks. He wasn't talking to me.
Here is the brave Gonzalo Moreno.
I didn't know they made shorts in size tourniquet.
They do look a little tight. Oh, 136. And again, after watching Isaac go long, this has to land just on the top part of that tier. Certainly knocked this down on a very nice line. Yeah, maybe cautious there of seeing Isaac go long.
I'm going to date myself right now, but it reminds me of those bike shorts you used to wear under basketball shorts.
Yeah, just tights. Yeah, he's wearing tights.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and say that. Yeah, I remember a day where that ball would have been up against the edge.
All right, let's go back to the 14th. Here's Kyuri Moodley, who leads the women's individual by 1.
Yeah, I checked with her yesterday. I said, how you playing? She said, well, I don't really know. And I was like, okay. She said she was going to show up this week and see what happens. And yeah, she's 2 under par. 2/3 the way through this round.
Now back to the 18th. Patrick Jean-Pierre from the Pine Straw again.
Yeah, 130. Got some overhanging limbs. Got mounding to the right and water left. Yeah, and it caught the last of the overhanging limbs and knocked it down to the right. A little unfortunate there.
Craig's been a nightmare last hour for Jean-Pierre.
Pablo Rivero.
And Justin took driver, so forced it nearly all the way from that forward tee past nearly all the trouble. But the difficulty here, there is a lot of pine straw around this golf ball. The tilt of the collar coming up the green goes down towards the water. You've got the mounding to the right. Anywhere on the green would be exceptional. It's one, Doug, you're trying to hold off a little here, but you're so cautious of that thing going left.
I tell you, you got to remember that pine straw too, Craig, it's a movable obstruction, so you can kind of clear it out.
Yep.
So people at home might be saying to themselves, oh, he's trying to create some footing. No, that's legal.
Settle down.
That's
Settle down.
Excellent shot, guys.
Doesn't look like it's going to make it to the bunker. I'd say right up on the tongue. Craig already said it was an excellent shot. Hey, do you like to play, Craig, quickly? Driver off the tee?
I don't, especially being straight downwind. Patrick hit hybrid, only 130.
Ohea Monsbendel, her second at the 14th.
Oh, almost flew it in the hole. That was the correct number. side of the course looks so much more quiet.
So it's crazy. So just to get this straight, Craig doesn't like the play of driver off the tee, but when he won in 02, he did hit driver on that 18th hole.
Yeah, but he hit it another 70 yards right. So I'm not making fun of you, Craig. This is what happened.
Well, for me, this was the first time I had a chance to play in the championship. 3 drivers in practice rounds, and that's the only club I knew how to hit.
You knew how to hit your wedges as well, especially in and around the green. Kayuri Moodley from Chaminade leads by 1 for the women. Back at the 18th, Patrick Jean-Pierre here now with his 3rd.
And it's so quick, straight downwind.
Like it jumped on him a bit, Craig.
Back to the 14th. Kayuri Moodley from UNC Charlotte. This a long birdie putt.
Yeah, I want to say she went with the wand change. I don't recall her arm locking last year. Very long putt down the hill.
Look at this. Oh, what a putt.
I think she thought she had it. Oh, you love the reaction, but I tell you what, being a player is like, just give me the birdie. I earned it.
She's playing some great golf right now. 2 under on the stadium course. Look at that scorecard.
It's fairly clean. Just a drop shot, the par 5 9th.
All right, now this back at 18. Patrick Jean-Pierre now for his 4th shot.
Pierre trying to do his best Perks impression.
And now the frustration starts to mount for Jean-Pierre.
Got to keep his head. This is only day one. And again, it's a team game, so you got to be mindful of where you stand in the championship, but hang in there for your teammates.
We heard Steve Burkowski and Craig Perks talk about the hug at the first hole between Mike Rice and Patrick Jean-Pierre. Mike Rice walked with him the entire 18 holes.
And he said his 13 years back at his alma mater as an assistant and now a head coach, the most rewarding part of his life.
Wow.
He won the Medalist honors in 2000 when the team won 24 years ago, and said, it's been a while, guys. Let's see if we can get that 2000 little addition on that board back in Tallahassee.
Yeah, I'm still sad the performance we put on in 2008 as a collection of Rattlers finished third that year.
Ohea Munsbendel for birdie at the 14th to get to +4.
Yeah, great look down the hill. A little late left to right. Extremely attentive. That birdie effort, but very easy to do when you're putting downhill, down grade here at the stadium, of course. Not a birdie on the card.
At the 18th. Oh, man. We've seen this young man, Isaac Bertignole, for North Carolina Central. He wears his emotions on his sleeves. He plays quick.
I'm here for it. Fiery. Let it out. You can see the look on his face right now. He is not happy.
Now Gonzalo Moreno for a 2-putt par. And that's nicely done.
See if he can't go get some rest, let his quads breathe.
No, he's doing a leg workout, and then he's going to let the hair go. And
shout out to Gonzalo Moreno.
Now the tee at 17, Theodoros Michael from Kaiser University, a sophomore representing the Seahawks. Big bounce. Oh, wonderfully done there, Doug.
Are you hearing that bounce? It's like a hollow first bounce there, and it is firm on top.
So Michael in close. The man from Cyprus will have a chance for birdie at 17 as day one continuing to roll along from TPC Sawgrass. The stadium course, Dyes Valley, both in play this week.
A look at the Chase Sapphire leaderboard here for the men's Division I team competition in Florida A&M. They're in at plus 13, a 12-shot lead over Prairie View A&M, 13-shot lead over Alabama State. And as we heard before, that 13-stroke difference, that kind of gets you in there.
I think it's not insurmountable where that lead sits right now. Again, you're talking about day one and having, 12, 13 shot deficit. Something you can easily and quickly overcome, but it's going to take steps. Can't do it all at once.
Now we make our way back to the 16th, and we have the men's individual competition. This is Felipe Gomez.
Love Felipe's game. Plays a lot of little touchy shots like we just saw. Dialed the distance in right there. Again, that whole location only cut some 5 paces in off that front left space.
Now back to the tee at 15. Kyuri Moodley getting ready to go.
Less than driver here, Burko. Turn something from right to left.
And then some.
And that was overcooked.
Now this is Yuki Liu, his third at the 16th, trying to take it in there low.
Needs to land that short. Flew too far and up on top of that ridge. That'll be a quick putt coming down. Justin, I was out earlier on the 16th, just kind of throwing some balls around, and the front part of this green is so firm. That shot really needed to be bounced in from just short. Saw what happens when we land one kind of hole high.
Now David Harrison, his third. You said being in that bunker would not be bad for your second shot, so he's just shy of being in that bunker.
Bunkers are absolutely perfect. Right now, got that fluffy kind of quartzite sand in them. Gotta get this one up quick, though. That was up a little too quick. Hey, those are the shots where you really kick yourself. That was a great opportunity to get one in tight. Just a little miss hit.
Now back at 17, Theodoros Michael. Heck of a tee shot. This for a 2.
Work its way left to right. Love the pace on that.
A couple of top 7 finishes this season for him. 2 best of his sophomore year at Kaiser. A tie for 4th and a solo 7.
Now Sparky, Ari Chatwakin. He is 1 off the individual lead, even through 15.
And we shouldn't be surprised. Finished tied for second a year ago, and in 2022 won by 8 shots. So Sparky shows up at the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship.
He knows how to perform on the big stage, and here he is playing the stadium course at TPC Sawgrass. A birdie putt at the 16th. We'll have that left for his par.
Yeah, putting up that ridge, you see him walking up it now. Just a very difficult putt to match the speed on, and that for par.
Head to 17, Kayaguchi, Utah Valley University, the Wolverines, and he won't be happy with that one.
Back to 16. This is David Harrison from off the green for birdie. And he's going to have a tester now coming back for par down that hill.
Anybody just notice we just saw 3 putts in rapid fire form all hit the hole and lip out? It was just me. Hey, Burko, these holes are cut as sharp as they get. Had the little paring scissors out, making sure these edges were perfect this morning.
Yeah, you better match the read and speed to get him to go.
Yeah. We saw this approach shot come in. Went long. Craig, you're with this group right now at 16. How speedy is this putt?
Yeah, it's moderate compared to others on the screen. If you're coming down the slopes, the wind has actually started to die down. Otherwise, it would be straight downwind. But you see the sheen of the grass, and it's certainly down green. But right at the front, Doug mentioned it, the front part of the screen is actually pitched away from you, so you're actually putting back up the hill here.
And that was hit way too hard by Yuki Liu.
Like Craig says, it's an uphill putt, even though he's coming off that little knob. This front corner, such an interesting little area, and it's hard to commit to what you see, even the wind, the grain. Craig, we're going to keep it here for Felipe, but there's so many things to factor in putting, especially on this particular green, because you got 17 coming up.
Yeah, it's certainly a hole you want to take advantage of. It's a little more difficult today with the wind back in your face. And I think with this prevailing southeasterly wind, that makes 17, 18 play a little bit easier downwind.
Oh, what a par save right there by Felipe Gomez.
All right, trouble here for Kyuri Moodley at 15, but a bit of an opening. That's about the only positive thing, Doug.
And you see her digging in, trying to keep your footing. So easy to slip on the pine straw. And look, there's a lot of pine straws. Look like there's multiple levels, and really bring that in for the Players Championship. Like she was just kind of playing out right. Okay, down in front, Burko, so she'll have a chance to get up and down again. Short game has been on display.
Yeah, just the one bogey at the par 5, 9-3 birdies to offset that. As Moodley currently the only woman in the individual competition under par.
All right, David Harrison now back at the 16th, has this to save his par.
It left it just short after that chip by the bunker, ran it by, and oh my goodness. No U-turns in Florida. Oh wait, yeah, it's Florida, so you can kind of do whatever you want for the driving laws.
UTSA and David Harrison, like you said, he was right in front of the bunker in 2, walks away with a bogey, back-to-back bogeys now, +2 for the championship. And now Yuki Liu, this for a par. And that was right the entire time. That was a very tentative stroke.
And I'll tell you, if you go back and look at that putt, he picked his head up right as the putter swung back through the hitting zone. Anytime you do that, coupled with a little bit of deceleration, the face will open, and out right she goes.
Yuki obviously plays his college golf at Michigan, originally from Beijing, China. And he'll be disappointed with that bogey. Still looking for his first birdie on this back 9. Would love to have it at 17.
You get through 6 holes, he's sitting at 2 under par, and then turns to the back 9 after one drop shot. It's just been drama ever since.
All right, Chat Vacan from Bangkok, Thailand, bangs that one in with a flag stick in.
I'm just going to call him Sparky. That's what he goes by.
Back at 15, Mohea Mons Bendel from short and right of the green. From New Caledonia, just 4 courses on that island. So your options limited, but apparently she made the most of those 4 tracks.
And I'm guessing they know her name at all 4 of those tracks.
Feel pretty confident about that. Let's see Moodley, her confidence trying to get up and down and remain 2 under par.
Short game has been on display the last couple holes we've seen her. Straight face club, so chipping and running it. And
got away from her.
A little gusto there. Hey, anytime you're trying to chip and run it kind of up a hill, if it doesn't hit the ground and get that first initial little Little check. Off she goes, especially playing it uphill. Just got away from her a bit.
Yep, Moodley work to do at the 15, trying to save her par and remain 2 under as day 1 of the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship continues right here on Golf Channel. And we are back at 15. Kyuri Moodley trying to save par and remain 2 under.
Just a little slippery putt. Burko off that left edge. Good look right there. That wrist lock putting style. Wow. Only the second bogey, Burko.
Yeah, don't rush up. You got 10 seconds to once you get to the hole in a reasonable amount of time, and gravity not her friend there. Bogey at the 15th after the errant tee shot by Moodley, so she falls to 1 under par, but hanging on to that top spot, the women's individual race here on day number 1. That 1-shot lead for Dugo in 2 over 74. Take a quick moment at the bold play of the day presented by Kohler. This was at the 13th. Patrick John Pierre from Florida A&M, grad student for the Rattlers. And how about this tee shot taking dead aim? That would lead to birdie. One of the highlights of the day for Patrick here on the stadium course. Take a look at the men's Division I team leaderboard. Just wrapping up with Texas Southern and Alabama A&M, but Florida A&M in control, 12-shot lead as they head to day 2 on Dyes Valley.
Let's go to the finishing hole. Simon Burgos, his second at the 18th.
Hey, snuck it down the right side. Having the greatest of days. I'm starting to hear a little pitter-patter out there. Can't tell if that's the flag waving or some rain starting to fall, but this is getting tasty.
What a shot right there by Simon Burgos. Great look at this 18th. That water just hugs the entire left side of the hole. Not a whole lot of bailout on this hole.
Yeah, the only bailout, especially on the second shot, is long. That's all you got. Short, bounces right to left. Front half of that green, front left corner goes all the way into the water as well. So you got right and long.
Sparky Ari Chatvakin tied for the lead right now at even for the men's individual with Eric Liu out of North Alabama.
And this goes to show you too. I mean, I think people forget when we're talking about this championship. There's like there's 5 different divisions that we're competing in right now. So we get an overhead look at 18, and there's those moguls down front right.
As we have a moment at what's taking place at the 18th at the stadium course, let's take a look at what happened earlier over at Dyes Valley. Again, this championship being played on the 2 different courses here at TPC Sawgrass. The women's team, they were playing over at Dyes Valley earlier today.
On a regional this week, they're not here to defend.
Over at 17, Sparky Ari Chatvakin getting ready to go.
Yeah, Burko 146. The wind's actually dying down, and this is on a really good line if it's enough.
Yeah, keeps it underneath the hole. Good one there by Sparky. Now Harrison's tee shot on the way.
Oh, I don't want to say that, but that your heart's in your throat. It would be good for Wednesday, I'm going to imagine, but not today.
What was it like for you, Craig, the walk from 16 green to 17 tee with thousands watching?
Yeah, I just chipped in at 16. It was electrifying, and I tried to take in the atmosphere. I looked at everyone. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't spit. I couldn't draw a breath, to be honest with you, but I tried to take it in. But once I got up on the tee and got a little water, I had this calmness over me, and I was really focused on a line. There was a NBC flag on a tower, and I had a perfect number. And so, but it is, you know, the chaos and the carnages happen at this hole. None of that entered my mind, thankfully, but it's terrifying and it's electrifying at the same time.
Good one there by Felipe Gomez. We'll keep it here with Yuki Liu, Michigan Wolverine, finished 4th a year ago in Alabama.
And I always found this back flag, I never tried to get back to it. You try to hit it right in the upslope.
Like that.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
That was on cue right there, Perks. And just why would you do that? Was it more of safety, or you just knew you couldn't hit it short or long? I guess that's the play.
Yeah, you just hate to fly it back there and take on that flag and get that one bounce and go in the water. Then you got to make that dastardly walk to the drop zone.
Did you ever practice a shot on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from that drop zone?
I ignored that. I actually never hit the ball in the water here, so I ignored that drop zone. I would never dream of hitting a practice shot from there, Burko. That would wreak havoc with your mind.
Humble flex right there. Never hit in the water at 17. I love it.
Wow. I mean, there's a lot of water, a lot of room. Now we go to the 16th. Tee shot for Kayuri Moodley at 1 under, and the women's individual leading by 1.
Well, it's interesting to see the driver back in hand. It's a par 5, but the previous hole she had less than driver, probably 3 wood. Kind of hit it toe side, went left on it. Let's pay attention here. Looks like that's also flirting with that left side, but on grass.
Got a nice break.
Now we got to get back to the tee to see some golf.
Yeah, so here's Mohea Mons-Bendel, who's +6, 7 shots back of Moodley.
Yeah, aimed out right, trying to work the draw.
So once you go here, you're making it a 3-shot hole.
It's no question, 100,000 million%. That is just a layup to a good number.
We saw the beautiful approach. Simon Burgos, a Division III player.
Yeah, I tell you, we already saw him make a birdie back at 17.
Just about that.
Rolling the rock.
That hat will be coming in handy next year.
A little foreshadowing.
Yeah.
He got the press release that went out today.
Next year's PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship is headed to Whistling Straits next year.
All right, back now at 17, David Harrison, the Roadrunner from Texas, San Antonio. Getting ready to go, closing the eyes. Craig is trying to visualize it.
Yeah, and it's a tough one to judge because it's up quite a severe ridge and then it crests on top, and you would think it would run away, but we talked about it earlier. It's actually back uphill around the hole, but the wind at his back. It'd be good to 2-putt from down here.
Gave it quite a wrap, Craig.
Oh, how about in? All you have to do is visualize it. What a 2.
Well, I've just decided to open up one more button. If he's making putts like that, going full Harry Higgs, I'm here for that. So it's been concluded.
After bogeys at 15 and 16, David Harrison with the ultimate bounce back 2 at 17. Worth another look. He knew it about halfway there.
Talk about making memories. We saw some rattlers over there earlier, but Roadrunner paying it off.
Now Yuki Liu.
Again, such a steep gradient up on top, then there's obviously a grade change.
Yuki fooled by that. Junior for the Wolverines shot 67 in round 2 a year ago. That was tied for the lowest round of the week. Zach Barlow, the coach for Michigan, telling me a diligent worker. You almost have to throw him off the range. Go home. Go do something else. Hit the books. And he's just kind of scratching the surface of what potential he might have.
And Burko, Pete Dye was just masterful at this visual chicanery. And this is one of the largest greens on the golf course. If it was surrounded by sand or grass, it would be the easiest hole in the world. But you stand on this tee and all you see is the body of water, and it plays the tricks of the mind. Just incredibly difficult to get the ball on the green. And then when you got to get on the green, you got all the challenge of the subtleties of the break and the green changes.
That was Felipe Gomez.
I'll tell you what, Craig, I think I'm going to give Alice a little more credit than Pete for this hole.
Yes, I would agree with that. Kept digging, right? Just keep on digging. Oh, wait, we'll leave that there.
I was talking to the assistant GM of this property a couple days ago. We were hosting the youth clinic, and we all know the story about the course being purchased for $1, but the valuation of this property now over $120 million. That's a pretty good investment.
Now Sparky, Ari Chat Vacan looking to get to 1 under.
I think the read's not difficult. Just make sure you get the correct speed.
Oh, he did. How about Sparky getting to 1 under? Way to go.
He's had quite the back 9 with some theatrics. And I tell you, we almost expect that from him, Burko.
A win, a second. Knows how to get the job done. Stroke average of 72.63 for the Blue Hens this past season. Yuki worked for his par. All right, 2-putt par for Lou. So Lowe head to 18. He's 3 over. Trying to get a little something coming down the stretch after the quick start, but they're having fun. Big part of the festivities here as we are looking at the ADT Secure Play of the Day, and it happened moments ago. David Harrison, long-range birdie effort here at 17. Craig Burke said slow up at that part of the hole, but judged perfectly by Harrison. Smiles all around.
We welcome you back to the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship presented by ADT here at TPC Sawgrass Stadium course. Been following now the men's individual and the women's individual as they are wrapping up their first rounds of play. This is a 54-hole event, and that is a look at Sparky RH8 who is the leader. Let's go over to 16. And this is Moodley's third shot.
And knowing that tree's about 50 out, she's probably got about 85 to this whole location. You see that bounce we were talking about it earlier. Played that perfectly right underneath the hole.
All right, so now RH8 on the tee with driver. Look at that aggressive swing, just taking on everything, and says no problem.
That is a terrifying line. Absolutely terrifying. Perfect shot. Steely play there from Sparky.
Again, you Burko, you guys have talked about his experience, having won this one year by 8 strokes. Tied for second last year. Here's David Harrison coming off that long birdie putt.
Smart play going with less than driver. You can turn these woods over a little bit easier you can than the driver, but lost this well right.
That's got to be frustrating, right? You go with a 3-wood, you think you're making the smart play, and then that happens.
Yeah, but it's also golf. It's why it's a 4-letter word. So is Doug. Just saying.
Yuki Liu.
Cheating the right side, usually trying to work one Left to right
with an iron.
Get one to sail on this line. Always think back to that stinger Tiger Woods hit here in like 18. That thing swung way out right. Think about the Toad 5-wood JT here hit here a couple years ago. Hit like 305 5-wood, no big deal.
Also with the iron, Felipe Gomez.
I honestly believe this is the way to play the hole. You can take on, hit it out towards that right corner. Can't hit it far enough to kind of get out of play. Well, unless you do that.
He says, hey, Doug, I know you won this once, but you sure about that?
No, I didn't win it hitting that shot. I promise you that.
All right, back at the 16th, Mohea Mons-Bendel. This her third.
Got a few paces inside of Moodley, taking it underneath the tree. He needs a huge bounce.
Oh, got a great bounce right there. Hey, you know what? From that angle, that was fantastic. The men and the women coming down the stretch here at TPC Sawgrass in the first round of the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championships. The PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship, presented by Kohler, Chase, and ADT, continues right here on Golf Channel tomorrow with coverage beginning at 3 p.m. Eastern. Excuse me, at 1 p.m. Eastern with golf today, and then tournament coverage begins at 3 p.m. Eastern. Let's go out to 16. Kyrie Moodley for birdie at the 16th.
Trying to bounce back from a drop shot at the last.
She thought she had one there.
Yeah, I do like how she's rolling the rock. This wrist lock method. Very quiet in that stroke.
In for a par. Stays at 1 under. As she makes her way to the island green 17th. Puts the shades back on. She's got some style to her.
Gotta put the hater blockers on. Just saying.
That was Jessica Ing. Now Mohea Monsbendel in for her par.
You can't forget, this is the first time a lot of these players have played with cameras on them.
Yeah.
So there's also that added bit of pressure that every shot's being seen and talked about, discussed.
And oh yeah, by the way, it's TPC Sawgrass Stadium course.
You're checking off a bucket list course while you're competing for your national championship. A lot going on.
All right. So the leader makes the walk from 16 to the 17th tee. And this is one of those walks where Berko, if she has that one-shot lead come Wednesday, this walk takes on a whole new meaning.
Oh, no doubt. And as Craig Perks loves to say all the years we did the Corn Ferry Tour together, how comfortable can you be in uncomfortable situations? And that's on full display anytime you tee it up at 17, Craig.
Yeah, and that's well said. And these guys have been standing on this tee for about 10 minutes too. So the wind has died down, thankfully. Again, 146 to that back hole location. Don't need to challenge it.
Eric Liu from North Alabama.
Seems to be carrying the right distance. Yeah, that's a marvelous shot.
You know, Greg, I think if it's dry, it's a marvelous shot. I kind of lower my expectations on this green.
I think those are real.
Welcome back to the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship presented by Kohler. First round coverage. We make our way out to the fairway. This is the third shot for David Harrison. Had to punch out from in those trees. And so playing downwind, back hole location. This is not an easy shot.
No, it's a shot you have to guard against long. We've seen some very firm bounces. You try to get it in that back third of the screen.
Again, just so firm.
mean, that's bouncing flag high. I mean, wow.
Sparky Ari Chatvakin, who is the leader in the men's individual competition right now at 1 under, the only player at under par, hit a beautiful tee shot, keeping the glasses on.
You know, and even though he's got wedge, only some 90, 95 yards, which is unbelievable. Again, the tee up.
What's the key right here for this shot?
I think this has to be low and landing probably some 8, 9 paces on the green and allow the ball to kind of skip up and off the right. Now you've got 32 on where that whole location is cut from the front, so you probably land this 16 on from where he is. Double checks the wind, just switched on him. See that flag moving left to right now.
Are you trying to go up high with this, take it down low?
I'm taking it low, and I know that it's going to be kind of that third bounce. That's where the spin's going to kind of kick in. So low, and I'm going 1, 2, skirt. But he went up. But he landed middle. That is a very acceptable shot. Better than he probably feels that it is right now.
Especially after seeing the previous shot by David Harrison bounce and just almost trampoline off the green. We look at the recent
UConn from Columbus, Ohio, works with PGA professional Jerry Hammond, who's here this week as an ambassador of PGA WORKS. It's all full circle here, full circle.
Back to the green at 17, Eric Liu sizing this long birdie putt up. Sophomore from Katy, Texas, third team all-conference performer for the North Alabama Lions.
Who's the most famous person from Katy, Texas?
Ooh. You tell me.
Roger Clemens.
All right.
Wow.
Infamous or famous? They're all smiling, Doug. We've touched on it for the better part of 2.5 hours of just truly what this week means. They want to play well. They want to help their team. But it is something they're going to put up there and remember for the rest of their lives.
How about this line? No one's smiling about this for Felipe Gomez. Play a little low chip and run. Oh, that did not check on that second hop. Just took off. Wow. This green with no grandstands is so exposed, and it's just drying out.
This now the 4th for Harrison.
You know, to your point, Burko, it is all smiles. I mean, you're so grateful to represent your school yourself and play on a course that you've had on your bucket list for years.
And when I say people pay hundreds of dollars, close to $1,000 to play here, they're playing 3 full rounds.
And a practice round.
And a practice round.
2 practice rounds.
But they're playing both courses. It is such a great opportunity for these young men and women. And not just to play, but to meet people in the golf industry.
I'll tell you what, if you got an interest of taking up PGA membership, this is a good place to play a golf tournament. The PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship. Seth Waugh is on site. Saw John Lindert on site. Don Ray, vice president, on site. And all these students get an opportunity to network right up with the decision makers of the PGA of America.
Now back at 17, see if Eric Liu can 2-putt for his par.
Hey, Burgle, that water's starting to get real choppy out there. Let's see, 3 wiggles here.
Yeah, the wind has been a factor, 10 to 15 steady throughout the day. Gusts nearly up to 20, and you sort of see the shift from south to southeast throughout the course of the afternoon.
Felipe Gomez from beyond the green for his 4th, and now he is going to have some work for a bogey.
You have to be so careful around this 18th green. That hole kind of falls off past the flag and straight uphill from the front of the green in there.
So the bogey drops Eric to 1 over par. Currently 2 shots off that individual lead.
Burko, you know what he tells all his friends, though? I was on the island green on my tee shot.
Yeah. Mission accomplished, at least most of it. You don't have to tell him about the rest.
Yeah. Well, now to the 18th green and the leader, the guy we call Sparky. Can he end with a birdie?
It's going to start to go the other way right here. I didn't hit it, though.
You know what, though? How about a 1 under for his opening round at the stadium course?
Take that and run.
Again, obviously, people are so used to seeing the Players' Championship here at the stadium course. You're a college player. You have to putt out every single ball. And he just went 1 under here.
Special stuff. But
that's some pretty good playing.
Yeah, no question. And we've got more coming back right here. PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship right here on Golf Channel.
And we are back to the par 3 17th. Kyrie Moodley getting ready to go.
121 here, Steve. It's a really awkward angle from over here. You're coming right across the top of the ridge. Seems been carrying the right distance. I don't think you really want to get up on top.
Man, she made that thing dance up top, Perks.
And likely to work a bit away from the hole, but safely aboard, barely. Dry, we'll leave it at that.
I remember VJ playing a little toe down on the shot like this. It's not as drastic, though.
Not as drastic, and not quite the experience that VJ has. I'm going to guess she's not hit quite as many balls in her career as VJ hits in a year.
I mean, he plays out of here, too. He's probably back there right now.
Sonia Tang out of Vancouver, British Columbia, into this 18th. And again, I'm just wondering, Doug,
wow,
we're seeing this ball now go all the way into that back bunker. Are you watching the people you're playing with, trying to pay attention to see how much that ball is bouncing?
No question. Especially after you've turned from 16 and the wind switches on the direction you're playing downwind. You're definitely trying to get a gauge for the pitch from your playing partners, especially, you know, if you get the opportunity to watch.
Emily Brubaker from Arapahoe, North Carolina. Huge tee shot. Plays it in Lynchburg like Simon Burgos.
And you know, too, like we saw, you know, Aaron Rye, Maddie Schmid when we went to lunch today, you know, back from the CJ Cup. And it's one of those things where I hope that they're taking a moment. And Burko, you can weigh in here. I hope they're taking a moment just to see the play and be available to offer words of wisdom or encouragement to the players here this week.
Yeah, they were intrigued, you know, coming off a PGA Tour event less than 24 hours ago. They're out here, and the understanding that a lot of them played collegiate golf at some level. So to be able to have the very best here this week, it's a give and take both ways.
Maddie Schmid at Louisville. We've got Doug Smith here wearing his ring.
We were different eons. We were eons apart at the University of Louisville. And for the record, some not confusing people, I played golf at the University of Louisville, won this championship as a Cardinal, and then transferred to Florida A&M. So everybody's like, what school did you go to?
And again,
to all of them.
You know what? Please actually expound on that, because again, we have the team competition.
Oh, wow.
Oh, look at this. Okay, you know what? Hang on one moment. We have to just enjoy these shots. Look at the glasses, the baggy shirt.
You see that one iron? You see that Callaway one iron in the bag right there?
Wow.
Club.
Okay, so I have to kind of regroup right now. Let's go to 17 first.
Yeah. Get me off the screen. This is Moodley's turn to play.
Yeah, her second. A little bit of an awkward one as that came all the way up against the collar.
But the individual, your team, Louisville, wasn't playing, but you were playing. And can you explain to the viewers why and how that all works out?
Well, again, there's the qualifications to play. If you're back then it was called the national minority, right? So this championship was open to all minorities that played, or those folks that made kind of the diverse qualifications, if you will, to say lightly. And luckily enough, I was able to get in and, you know, turn it into a win. So if you played at HBCU, or if you're a person of color playing at a majority school, you were invited to play in this championship.
This is Eric Liu on the tee at 18, and he's got a really nice swing. That's leaking out to the right, though.
You see that photo, made me realize how skinny I was. I might need to.
Isn't that the worst? You see photos, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to lose weight.
Then I was making fun of Patrick Jean-Pierre playing in glasses, and then I just saw myself playing. I forgot all about that. We don't do that anymore.
Back at 17, Mohea Mons-Bendel, this for birdie.
Yeah, she's on the steepest part of that slope coming up the rise, and then once you crest on top, there's a green change.
Solid effort. She'll two putt for her par, remain at 6 over. Doug, what do you expect the big adjustments to be from those playing the stadium course today, then heading over to Dyes Valley tomorrow?
I'll tell you what, probably a better question for Craig Perks, but both are very, very difficult. I think the stadium course is going to give you, in my opinion, a little less dramatic putting greens, so you're going to be able to feel like putts are a little bit straighter when you come from here, from there. But you kind of, it's a bit of a breather. Now she can exhale. What a putt. And Perks, same question. I mean, the variance between the two courses different, surfaces, green surfaces. But no, that's a tough question. Both provide a unique difficulty.
All right, big par putt here for Moodley. She hit the smart shot. Maybe a bit of bad luck for it to go all the way up against the collar. Will drop one, fall to even par, but still hanging on to a one-shot lead. Moodley heading to the last on the stadium course as we're winding down on a Monday from Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida.
I'm sorry, Doug. I wanted to come in, but I guess there was a commercial coming. If y'all got me.
Today's coverage of the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship is brought to you by Chase Sapphire. Upgrade your travel and dining experiences with Chase Sapphire. By Kohler, helping people live gracious, healthy, and sustainable lives. And by ADT. When every second counts, count on ADT. We go out to 18. Emily Brubaker, we saw her second shot here. This now for birdie. And Brubaker, what a finish for her. I mean, it's not been the best day, plus 10, but she had a monster tee shot. And then the approach shot. And this was just a moment ago. Sonia Tang, the Oregon Duck.
Hit it over the back in two and unable to get up and down.
That was a bogey.
They still all smiles. What's there not to smile about?
I know.
After a lap around this park.
Such a great experience. Something they will never, ever forget. Tomorrow they'll go play the Valley Course, which opened in 1987. This course, the stadium course, opened in 1980. We'll be back right after this.
Our day one coverage winding down from TPC Sawgrass, the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship presented by Chase, Kohler, and ADT. We go out to the tee at 17 with Steve Cabare, the senior from Dalton State.
Burko, it's about as calm as it's been all afternoon, really. 146. And on a good line. Is it carrying far enough?
Oh, it did. Now will it hang in?
It took a huge hop. One of my favorite swings out here. And I'll tell you what, he's got that DS for Dalton State, but called the Doug Smith logo right there.
All right, keep it here. Aiden Thomas, New Mexico State, senior from Albuquerque. First team all WAC his first 3 years in college. Couple of wins, including the Tucker Intercollegiate 2022.
That's huge.
Jumped the gun by one. Now Aiden Thomas getting ready to go. That was Bobby Sohal who hit prior to him.
Yeah, Burko, I think you think 146 with the wind laying down. You probably only want to carry this about 134 if you want to challenge that flag.
Solid golf swing.
Yeah. It's about what you want to do right there, Doug.
That's one of the better groups we've seen. 4 balls on the surface. One of the better groups, Perks, we've seen today as we watch these players walk up. I mean, 4 good shots. We'll get up to see Kyrie.
Now Kyrie Moodley coming off a bogey at the 17th to fall back to even for the round on the tee here at 18.
And from this angle, you can look right down the water's edge. There's that lone gentleman down there right under the tree. That's a great line, maybe just left of that. Work this draw. She's been working it right to left most of this round, and she's done it again. Just cooked right there, Justin. What a bounce.
Yeah, that is a fantastic tee shot by the leader. Leads by 1 entering the final hole. Would love to be able to sleep on a lead tonight after 18. This is Eric Liu from beyond the green. Remember, he had that bad tee shot here at 18. He went right off the tee with driver. He's got that smooth swing.
Yeah, I hate nothing about his swing. As Craig said before, his towards might be a little bit off. But other than that, love the move, but played up right, and that's not the worst place to be if you could advance the ball up high right on 18. Usually there's a grandstand there, but
I mean, just how beautiful is that? There aren't many clubhouses that look like this one here at TPC Sawgrass.
77,000 square feet clubhouse.
Oh, it's not too big.
That a bit too far. This Peacher's trying to get one close, get out of this round.
Let's get the proper form to rake the bunker.
You got to push.
Yes.
Always push.
Yes.
If you pull, you have to push back over. I feel like people should get rake lessons.
I second that. Igor Zubov. He was actually the only on-site alternate, and he got into this championship. Igor Zubov from Tel Aviv, Israel.
Rolling balls this morning. made sure to check this angle. This is such a unique putt. Trying to see who's going to take the play here. Listen in here.
I think it's going to be Liu. Eric Liu.
Yeah, Lau's going to have to. It's a tough read because this wants to work its way back right to left at the hole. When you first look at this, it's like this is left edge with some pace. I tell you, Pete Dye does a good job at tricking some folks.
He tricks many.
See?
Yep. That course can do it to you.
Back at 17 now, second for Kabari.
It's just so awkward there, Steve, because you're so close to the hole. You need to have acceleration through that rough. Well done.
Yep. Skirted that right edge as it went by.
There's a calmness to his game, Burko, that I've come to admire. We had a chance to get the first look at him back at the Southwest Invitational. What was that, last November, Burko?
Yeah, November. It's what, Cedar Crest, just outside of downtown Dallas?
Absolutely.
Now here is Igor Zubov to save his par at the 18th.
Left center.
He's in. So opening 78 plus 6 for Zubov. And now Eric Liu. So you have somebody who represents Tel Aviv, Israel. You have somebody who represents Shanghai, China. Cyprus, all in the same group. 27 countries represented here at the 2024 PGA WORKS Collegiate Championships at TPC Sawgrass.
It's a global game, and it's well represented. Even here at the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship, a lot of people think it's just about the HBCUs. No, no, no. It's about Hispanic-Serving Institutions, the varying persons from all over the world.
Leader actually playing this 18th hole as we speak. This is Mohea Mons Bendel playing in that same group as Kayuri Moodley. And here is Mons Bendel with her second.
First of all, what a shot off the tee. This is one of the hardest tee shots in golf, period. Found the fairway in a fantastic position to attack, but you cannot go long. Justin, we've seen this first bounce just be extremely firm.
And Mons Bendel right away just picked up, was not happy, long. She was off to the right. Can't believe it.
So you see that shot, she knew she mishit it, but you thought you'd get away with trying to find the right side of the green. No, not here today on the 18th.
Now this tee shot was phenomenal. Let's see this in-between wedge shot.
Sawed-off finish, knocking it down. No, she needs to skip it back. Needs some spin right there. Oh, it tried to grab.
Again, downwind, trying to get it to stop, unable to as we go back one hole to the island green at 17.
Yeah, the last group of individuals playing, and misspoke earlier. This is Bonveet Sohal from Oakland University. And Justin, as we found out, last flight out of Detroit late last night, got in just before midnight, and enjoying. Oh yeah, by the way, made 2 at 17. Worth the travel.
No practice round, just shows up and plays.
Definitely worth the travel. And somebody's got dinner.
I think that's our next decision, Justin.
Well, somebody said, I'm just going to wait for this one to stop. And, yeah, time for snacks. Yeah. Not sure I've ever seen that. There goes the head. Is that a birdie? We are back, this time no bird with a fish. It's good to know, but nature at its finest prior to the break. And here is Moodley from beyond the green with a putter, Doug.
Yeah, we've seen players elect to play this a multitude of ways. I think this is the smartest play. Plays a little uphill, coming right up over and straight down. And that's well judged there for Kyrie.
Trying to get in at even par. Would give her a one-shot lead heading into tomorrow. The man who came in on the flight last night, just birdied 17 from Oakland and Detroit, and here he is on the tee at 18.
Yeah, Justin would drive it too. The wind's now gusting, so it brings the through numbers into play. You really have to take nearly the whole body of water on, Doug, with this club straight downwind.
Now, don't forget, he didn't get a chance to play a practice round, so this is the first time he's played the hole all week.
Yeah, this to play this hole blind is pretty difficult.
That could be a potential lost ball. May need to hit a provisional for Bonvit.
And Doug, you mentioned the JT or the Tiger sling and hook. That's what you need here. You need to take that hybrid or long iron or something and just turn it around the corner.
See, Craig, that's why you played on tour. I never did. Working balls toward penalty areas. Whew, that terrifies me.
Well, that's what Pete Dye wanted you to do. Challenge the water off, and this is a beautiful line right over the corner of the bulkhead. Challenge the water off the tee, and it opens up that second immensely.
Percy, that's what I've heard about this golf course, is that people love how it forces you to work the ball right to left and left to right throughout the entire course.
Yeah, it does, and it's so democratic in nature. Holes that require right to left off the tee, then the second might be actually a cut into the green. It's a brilliant design. There's so much randomness to it.
Here's Mons Bendel trying to save her par here at the 18th.
Inside right edge, hit this one firm.
The last thing you said?
Firm. Just lacked a little commitment there with the wand. Drop a shot at the last. I always hated doing that. +7.
A 79 for Mons Bendel. Now Jessica Ing out of Vancouver, British Columbia.
Struggle for Ing today, but get fueled up for tomorrow, get some rest. Try to understand what went wrong, maybe hit some balls after this round.
And now Moodley for an even 72 on the stadium course. Well played. Kyuri Moodley will take a one-shot lead heading into tomorrow's second round in the women's individual, and they will play at Dyes Valley. So Moodley, anyone else want to go fishing? We have one more group coming through here at 18. We are back. A look at this 18th hole TPC Sawgrass Stadium course. Hard to believe that the golf course and the 77,000 square foot clubhouse was built for $5 million. Now valued at over $120 million, the property.
Whole property, man. It's unbelievable. What a dollar bought you right here in Ponte Vedra Beach.
Pete Dye said this was the most difficult piece of property he ever had to work with.
Yeah, we talked about, the result of he and Alice sitting down, drawing up plans and trying to figure out what to do with the hole. But most of the sand used to create the moguls and the hills came from the water now from digging down. Right there at 17.
Kyle Kim flirting with the penalty area.
Yeah, I think what Pete Dye said is that he was honored to have the task of building the home for the players and the tournament players, and certainly did a wonderful job. It has evolved for sure. It's been sterilized throughout the years, softened. When it first opened in 1982, there was basically a revolt. They're like, we're not playing here.
Now Aiden Thomas
Yeah, 172, and he's got a line. He didn't really have to keep it under any trees and had a pretty clean lie that stays on board. That's really well done.
Tell you, but being hit it low, having to take on that front edge number might have saved him right there.
Again, you don't realize how difficult the second shot can be here at 18. Now Steve Kabare.
Yeah, just 121 from an upslope, and you challenge the water. Now it's a birdie hole.
Yeah, watch this move, Perks.
Oh, I like take someone off the speed in the arms, try and skip it back there.
Tell you what, he mishit it and got away with it, Perks.
He did. Because of how firm this green is, actually took that bounce forward for him.
It's always fun when you can get away with some trash. That's what I love about this game.
Because he has the Doug Smith logo on.
That's it. DS, baby, Dalton State. This might be my new favorite team.
You're going to get home and you're going to have a whole bunch of Dalton State gear. Okay, so we saw the tee shot for Bobby Sohal go over towards that bush. Did he find it?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
He's got a clear. He's only got 70 yards to the front, 102 to the flag. Not the greatest of angles, and the ball nestled down in the pine straw. It's one you could hit fat very easily, and it's one you could blade over the green. So if he can get this anywhere on the putting surface, it would be wonderful.
It's a little dealer's choice here, huh, Perks?
Yeah, it's nearly like, Doug, you'd like to hit a long explosion, but you know, maybe that's not in the repertoire, and you very difficult to pick it cleanly from this line.
Well, there's water on this angle. Correct me if I'm wrong, Perks, but it's not in play from this angle.
No, it's not. The back bunker is, and these moguls short are. Well, he made good contact. If it can get to the green and release.
Well, did both.
Just unfortunate, caught that downslope.
Out of the bunker in the rough. All things considered, he should be pretty happy.
Yeah, I'll take that. That was deep off the tee.
When we look back to last year's championship in the men's Division I, an unbelievable performance by Howard University. Division II, Kentucky State. The women's division, Texas A&M Corpus Christi. CM Mixon from Louisville won the individual for the men. And for the women,
Pooh Kine, big win
from UNC Wilmington.
That's worth noting that EJ Everett Whiten Jr. took men's medalist honors that year for the Bison of Howard.
You think about that, the 57-shot victory for Howard last year. I talked about it with Damon and Eamon on Golf Today earlier. You referenced they're not here, winning their conference championship, regionals next week. How about the 3.5 to 4 year progress that program has made? Steph Curry, obviously, a huge part of growing it. Sam Puryear, as a head coach, has taken it to a quicker level than I ever thought possible. Gregory Odom Jr., Everett Whiten Jr., CM Mixon. The stars align and they can get something from the 4 and 5 men.
Marcus Smith, yeah.
Maybe an outside chance to steal one of those 5 bids out of their regional.
And Burko, that's the goal for this championship. The goal is to have all these teams get so good that you qualify for the NCAA championships. And you know what? Who's going to be that next school to make that leap?
Backfill.
The PGA of America has said they want all these teams and players to make the NCAAs and make them have to change around this tournament.
I mean, wouldn't it be cool if this tournament became like an in-season tournament, end-of-season championship, where you still earn your right to go play? Look at this little... Craig, that was an interesting play.
It was. You got to be creative when you get miss these greens. There's so many nuances to the lies you get and some of the slopes you're up against. As you watch this one here, right up against the collar. It's one you could play a multitude of ways.
Again, you can hear that flag just whipping right now in the wind. The water almost has whitecaps on it.
Yeah, it's a little choppy. It's it actually calmed down for about 30 minutes, and there's a front looming off to the west. It's no threat, but sort of bringing some of those blustery winds. But you don't mind this hole playing downwind.
No.
I promise you that. You get that north breeze in March, you want no part of it.
You're saying you'd rather play this hole downwind than into the wind?
Yeah, I'd rather play this event, or the players, excuse me, in March, but I'd certainly much rather play 17, 18 downwind,
Yeah.
which you generally don't get in March.
Now here's Aiden Thomas.
And the challenge here is you come up and over a little rise, and again, you get up on top, it's exposed, and it's straight downwind, and wind has affected these putts, Doug, especially when you got greens over 11 on the stint meter.
Yeah, what a sidewinder of a putt. It's going to be flat, then up, breaking right, and we'll finish going right to left toward the clubhouse.
Ooh, gave it a ride.
Oh, and then you got to get the speed right too, Perks.
Yeah, there's a lot to encounter for sure on these greens.
See, that's why Craig Burks didn't putt on the 18th.
That's why.
When he won in 2002 as the Players' Champ. Why worry about navigating all of that? Here's Kabari.
What? Thought he might play a little bit better. There's a certain swag to his gait, and he's never in a rush. His swing never looks rushed. He's always kind of focused. We might see a little better start for Steve, but it's not a bad start at all.
If he can make that putt, he's +3, 3 shots back of the leader with 36 holes to go. Bobby Sowell trying to get up and down.
Again, one of the challenging things is you get knocked around by the wind, and it's hard to get a putt started on line when you're trying to brace yourself.
I'd say just to be out here, just to make it to this championship, I got a lot of respect for him. To get a phone call, can you imagine how your whole week has changed?
Yeah.
You get a call. Hey, I need you. Hey, can you be in Jacksonville in about 12 hours to tee off? Sure, I'm on my way.
That's almost when, if you can't catch the flight, how good of a friend do you have? Jump in the car.
No chance. No chance. I don't know if I have any friends that I'm that close with. That doesn't happen.
Aiden Thomas trying to save his par.
Perks, that looked like a good stroke. Just maybe a misread.
Yeah, probably so. You saw some guys have trouble reading these putts in March, and again, back into the wind, you feel like you're going to get knocked over. Hard to get the putt out of the center of the face.
Frustrating day for Kyle Kim. This 18th hole can get the best of anyone.
Unless your last name is Scheffler. Just saying. I'm talking about the hole, not the tournament.
How Kabari trying to save his par and go into day 2, 3 shots back of the lead. Oof. And that will be frustrating when you think about his tee shot was perfect.
Got away with some trash though with the second shot. Okay, but the 3-putt, that's what hurts.
And we talk about momentum, things that stay with you. How do you kind of let that one go, as that's the last thing you'll think about from the round?
Honestly, it's still a marathon. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I 3-putted the last hole, but I'm 4 shots outside the lead. I'm starving. I need to hydrate. and I'm going to find a cold tub because I'm burning up. But Craig, it seems like it's gotten cooler out there though, because the wind hasn't stopped.
No, it's actually very, very pleasant, and it has really been most of the day.
You know what? I respect that round of 80.
No doubt about it. Well, we've seen this player atop the leaderboard before in the men's individual.
Thank you.
And Sparky R.H. Chatmakin has a 2-shot lead after round 1 of the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship. Round 2 coverage of the PGA WORKS Collegiate Championship continues tomorrow with live tournament coverage from the stadium course beginning at 3 p.m. Eastern right after golf today. A fun day of golf here on this first of 3 days at TPC Sawgrass. Now for Doug Smith, Steve Burkowski, and Craig Perks, and the rest of our great crew, I am Justin Kutcher saying good night from the Players Course. We'll see you tomorrow for round number 2. Have a great night, everybody.